Hey guys, this is Thomas over here at nursemoneytalk.com, and in this video I'm actually gonna answer a viewer question, and it's from D, and you'll see it on the screen here. It says, hello, I'm a new grad ASN, also with 20 years experience as a paramedic in the ER. People don't talk much about paramedics and what we can bring to the table. I would like to work in ICU, CVU, or NICU. I want to be well-rounded critical care thinker, but I also feel that I should be able to negotiate a higher salary. What are your thoughts on this? So, about to give my thoughts on this question, but before I get to that though, if you're not already subscribed, I want to go ahead and invite you to hit that subscribe button. On this channel, I talk about all things related to nursing student, and of course, nurse life. Two other quick things. One, of course, no professional advice is being given on here. And the second thing is that if you have a question that you would like to potentially get answered either on this channel or on a blog post on nursemoneytalk.com, go ahead and go to nursemoneytalk.com/ask, or I suppose you could also ask it in a YouTube video, as in the comments in a YouTube video as well. Let's go ahead and get right down to it, which is that, you know, he's a recent graduate of a nursing program and spent 20 years of, you know, working as a paramedic. The first thing that I want to mention is that to your point, I do think that paramedics, it's actually typically not talked a lot. It's not really, it's usually not mentioned a whole lot, but there are, or at least I've personally met a fair bit of paramedics who have gone on to become nurses. But to your point about the, you know, being able to negotiate a higher salary, so before that though, I do think that you are right. I think that there are a lot of things a paramedic brings to the table. Now in this situation, I'm thinking of like a paramedic who has spent 20 years actually working and then becomes a nurse. You're going to be in a better spot than somebody who has zero medical or clinical experience whatsoever and then ends up becoming a new grad nurse. I mean, obviously, you're going to be in a much better spot. I do think in a typical scenario, you should be able to negotiate a higher salary or higher wage than your usual new grad nurse with zero experience. And I do say typical. The issue though is that hospitals are looking for reasons to not pay nurses what they're worth. And this is from personal experience and experience that I have, you know, heard from other nurses. I think you could see some arguments such as, well, that wasn't really a nurse, and you weren't really a nurse, and you know, you're doing different things, and or they might do what, you know, some facilities will do for an LPN. You know, so if it was somebody who worked as an LPN and then became an RN, where they'll discount the number of years, you know, that you were, and then so they'll say, so the typical thing that I'll hear from an LPN to, you know, experience when you're an RN is they'll say, for like, you know, for every 2 years, you know, you were an LPN, we'll make that count as 1 year as, you know, as an RN. And so they'll give you, you know, a little bit of a pay bump or whatever based on that. What I would encourage you is to, you know, make sure you're knowledgeable on what the going rate is for new grad nurses in your area. And then I would try to negotiate and see if you can't get a little bit higher of a pay bump on that. I think that not all hospitals, but I would be surprised, especially if you live in a big enough area and you apply to, to multiple, ICUs or NICUs or CVUs or whatnot, that you couldn't get one that would at least, give you a higher pay than others, because some are a lot better than others. So just kind of give you an example, as some of you guys know, like if you've watched my videos, so I took the LPN exam partways through nursing school. And so when I was actually applying and so I did that, and then I had 2 jobs whenever I first graduated from nursing school as a new grad nurse. What I found is that, and I'd already been working as a CNA for a couple years before that, one of the facilities where I worked at actually gave me credit for the CNA and gave me credit for the little bit I was an LPN, and actually gave me a higher starting wage than another facility that didn't count anything. They did not count any of the CNA experience. They did not count the little bit of LPN experience that I did have. They counted none of that. All they cared about was, you were a new nurse, you had not been an RN before. The point wasn't to compare experiences of a paramedic versus, a CNA or an LPN or whatever. That wasn't the point. The point of this being that how like you can have scenarios where one hospital will actually account for that and another hospital might not account for any of it, or will try to gyp you. And so ultimately you just kind of have to really weigh what's important to you, in terms of, is it I just want this particular facility just because of the reputation, or maybe there's something else about it, or is it I want a facility that's gonna pay me as much money as possible, because there's a chance that it's probably not gonna be both of those things are going to fall on different facilities. But anyway, that's all I got. Let me know in the comment section if you guys have any other questions. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you very soon in that next video.